And welcome back. We got Freshwater versus Azyl. Alright, both players going for GTR. Struggling with both are, despite using different colors for their GTRs, both did get their GTRs complete. A little later. Wasn't exactly late. Definitely a noticeable slowdown from Freshwater at this height. Freshwater, instead of just chaining though, goes for a strong harassment, which completely covers up what Azyl had.
So I won.
Freshwater takes round one. Both players playing GTR again.
Looks like Freshwater has a slight speed advantage.
But
It's building a little bit faster.
despite that speed advantage, they significantly slow down when it comes to the second floor. But because their base is ready, they were able to counter that harassment
So I won.
and still set off their full chain. Doesn't choose to tank even a 2-chain and goes for their incomplete 4-chain. And, ooh,
I think that was the right move.
Azyl's chain just wasn't ready. I didn't look at it after the harassment, it could have been very vulnerable. That is a pretty common occurrence, to harass and then your chain just, like, you harass with the intent that it's gonna take out your opponent, but maybe your opponent does realize it's coming and your chain's left in a really bad state. Decent harassment opportunity. Freshwater chooses not to. Goes for the full chain, in fact. Both players setting off their chains at the same time. They're actually going to equalize to one row.
Garbage.
Freshwater's in a very good spot here. Their GTR is completely ready. Although does not take too much advantage of that situation. And sets off an incomplete chain. Definitely gonna struggle with that transition there, just having to build the entire thing. It's just very hard to do. You need specific pieces too. But chooses not to extend. Notices that Azyl is just struggling here with these little attacks. Takes the round. Bit of a, I mean, not much of an attack, but it was something. Azyl has a power 2 chain ready, although they're not getting the green they want. Ooh, and is kind of locked into just, ouch.
Oh no. Oh. That
Just was banking too hard on that harassment. Freshwater was just able to just set off their full chain. When you bank that hard for a harassment, I mean, it just means you just don't have much of a chain ready. And that's easily punishable by just setting off your chain. Freshwater, I guess, noticed. Definitely a diggable situation. It's just gonna require a lot. If Azyl gets a follow-up within the amount of time. It looks like Freshwater is gonna be able to get their dig. Azyl just a bit too slow to take advantage of the situation. Still not enough garbage to completely take out Azyl, although this power 2 is going to be pretty harsh. There's just very little room here to work with. And just not getting a red here. And that garbage lands right where they need to do.
Thought I could have landed.
That was a rough single garbage. Just the one spot that they needed. Ooh, Freshwater encounters a color conflict here, actually. The reds and greens here, they're gonna have to... They could do a harassment, and they... Nice, they fix it with a harassment. That's a really good way to fix your chain, because...
Being able to adapt your mistakes into harassments.
Oh, I don't know if Freshwater saw those little reds that were available down there, but... That would have made for a very powerful dig. Doesn't get the dig though.
Too bad.
Too focused on digging from the top when there's a little part on the side that would have helped dig much faster.
Was that Azyl's first win?
That is Azyl's first round taken.
Nice.
Could this be the start of momentum? Who knows? Ooh, okay. An interesting play from Freshwater. Turns their transition into a power 2 chain. Is now going to follow up with this 4 chain. 5 chain actually. I didn't notice those reds connected. And Azyl's taken out. Nice play from Freshwater. Not leaving their chain in the worst spot. There was still very much an opportunity to extend, but since it did land, Freshwater was able to get a follow-up. Good games.